Welcome, everybody, from bringing things from here to here. So I kind of wanted to first describe, I guess, the cover. A lot of people were really confused. They weren't quite sure what it meant. Today I want to talk about just kind of screenwriting in general, and then also kind of like when you first think of a concept, like it's really blurry. And sorry, my best friend in the military keeps calling me, so I kind of feel bad that I'm answering. But um, so when you first get your concept, it's really blurry, and it's like, how do I take it from this in my head to paper or to screen, or because when you think of it, it's very overwhelming. So it's kind of a one step at a time thing. So um, I have a kind of some slides put together. By all means, if you have any questions, feel free to answer or ask them. Just this is kind of an open discussion here. So I want to kind of start that off, and then I also want to preface this off with, when it comes to screenwriting in general or creativity, it's very perceptual. For some things, people like certain programs. For other people, they like other programs. And for me, that's what I think so great about art is there's no niche, there's no group. Like, you can go wherever you want. There are no rules. You can break them, and that's why I'm a fan of it, is because I break the rules all the time. So me personally, if you want to suggest things, or there's books that I've read that I really like, but if you want to suggest things, by all means, just let me know, and I will. I would love to get some input from you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, I'm just going to share my screen here real quick with you. Got the little Inception screen going on. It's crazy. So we're just going to go in here and we're going to present this. So if you can see this, there we go. There's our disclaimer. Okay, so here, from here to here, we're going to kind of go through from the blurriness, and we're going to kind of bring it to this nice, clear point of view when it comes to screenwriting. I'm going to go ahead and hide that really quick because I'm OCD and that's annoying. Well, it's not going away. That's okay. So first thing that I want to talk about, obviously, is kind of like what I said before, kind of like here. This is my second kind of disclaimer, I guess, is if you're looking for something that's easy, painless, safe, and comfortable, you should probably stop watching right now. This isn't screenwriting, and creativity in general is not easy, painless, safe, and comfortable. Those are not the things that you're looking for if you want to be a screenwriter or a creative person in general. Even an entrepreneur, being those things are not that. So if that's what you're looking for here, then you should stop. You should stop watching right now and save yourself some time and go do something else. What I can say about this is screenwriting and creativity in general is hard, it's endless, it's scary, and it's overwhelming. Those are the things that you're going to feel every single day. You put your feet on the ground after getting out of bed, you will feel those emotions with being creative, no matter what you do. Okay, so if you're a bullhead like I am, and you're stubborn, and no matter what you do, like, you will go get it. When someone tells you, you can't do it, it just makes you want to say, like, yeah, I can. So watch me. Like, that's my attitude. So when we have these rules in art, first thing that we want to do, this is an awesome quote I love from the Dalai Lama, know the rules well so you can break them effectively. We have to know the rules so we can break them. And this picture right here, to me, just is like the epitome of breaking the rules, just like totally going outside the box. So a lot of people kind of ask, help, like, where do I start? Like, you have all these creative thoughts in your heads, when it comes to screenwriting, you have, I get a lot of my inspiration from pictures. You have visions of how the shot should be. You have music. To be honest, that's my paramount. Like, when I hear a song, like, I can get a whole idea for a movie from a song, and I love it. So music, the soundtrack, the effects, the dialogue, the actors, who's going to play your people, the plot twists and the perfect ending, there's all these things, that kind of bring this together. And sometimes when we have all of these aspects, we kind of feels like we're drinking water out of a faucet. We don't know where to put them. We don't know what to do, because we're like, this is like the middle of the screenplay. Like, why am I worried about this? I need to get the beginning or the end together, or that's not right dialogue, or where would that fit, or I don't know. I mean, there's endless questions, which I'll get on further where those come from in the webinar. So this is kind of setting the base of where do we do. We have all of these ideas, and what do we do? Okay, the first thing for me with a script that I try to do, it doesn't always happen this way, but if we're going to learn how to follow the rules so we can break them effectively, then I would go ahead and do it this way. So the first thing that I would do is check your log line or your one liner. Okay, so your log line or your one line, I have some examples further on, but there's kind of key aspects that you kind of want to bring into these log line or one line, so that I'm just going to say log line for the lack of so that I don't say this over and over again. Is you're kind of looking for something that's ironic. You have a compelling mental picture, an audience, and the cost. Sometimes the audience and cost, that's kind of the last thing I put in there, just because it's like, I don't want, the cost or the audience to really drive my film. I kind of want the art, and then kind of later is when I do the audience and cost. Let's see here. I'm getting all the second that I start a webinar, and then everybody starts calling me. I don't even know what's going on right now. Hello.
Hello. Hi. This is Lynn, and I'm calling from 7P.
Wait, I'm so sorry. That was I just want to make sure that it wasn't somebody on the webinar being like, Jared, it's not working. So I feel bad. Sorry for that person. Okay, so here's my log lines. Now, disclaimer again, I wrote these after I wrote the screenplays. So the screenplay is kind of that basis where you always go back to it. So when you're like at a point, you're like, oh crap, like what is my screenplay doing, or where's the direction this is going? You can always kind of go back to your log line as that basis point, okay? So for my short film Letters, I kind of wrote as a young single man dreams of his future children and writes a heartfelt letter to them with his fears, doubts, and promises. So that's kind of what the short film was, The ironic piece, it's a young single man. He's not married. He doesn't have any kids, and he's writing that kind of heartfelt letter. The mental picture there, with this one, I don't think I really paid much attention to the audience and cost, because I funded the film myself. So it was that was obviously my first film. So that's the thing, is it's better to have a log line than to not have a log line. Okay. So for my Shades and Sunrays film, a shy teenage boy has an exuberant female friend sneak into his room unexpected, who teaches his eyes to the world of dreams and friendship. That's kind of those log lines and kind of examples that I wanted to go through. And so with every log line that I do, a big thing that I learned from the book Save the Cat by Blake Snyder is to test the market. Okay, I go to my friends all the time, every single time, even my random coworkers, and I'll walk up to them and be like, hey, can I pitch an idea to you really quick? And they're like, okay, sometimes it's just random strangers, I don't even know them. And I'll be like, boom, I'll read my one line to them, and they'll just be like, it's all right, or you can automatically tell whether the person is compelled to, or they would watch that film and it would be something that'd be interesting to, somebody who just is like, yeah, it's all right. So test the market. You kind of have an idea of, you get your film and you kind of test the market, and while you're testing it, you'll notice things that maybe you want to add something, or here's something I want to reword it and stuff. Okay, but what I think a lot of people get held back by is the fact that the whole time that they're testing out the market, they're so afraid that their idea is going to get stolen, and some studio is going to come and rip them off, and whatever. If you're just starting at screenwriting, the chances of somebody wanting to steal your idea is pretty slim. But at the same time, take yourself seriously and test the market. Like the quote that I put down there, by Blake Snyder, I have no fear that anyone will steal my idea, and anyone that has a fear is an amateur. Like, your idea is so intimate to you, like you are the only one that can bring that to light and into what it needs to be. Someone can steal your idea and do something similar, but yours is going to be better. And that kind of attitude. So find people that are going to give you good feedback, and who aren't just going to like, yeah, it's great, because in screenwriting, it's a place where you can get destroyed by encouragement. If somebody tells you that it's great and awesome, and you're not getting paid to make scripts, the person's lying to you. Like, you constantly want to be proving yourself, and constantly kind of like every rewrite, or every time you pitch it or someone reads it, you want to get that feedback. So if they're looking at it critically, they'll have something to say. If they don't have anything to say, then you need to go to somebody else. So find those people, build your team of people that you kind of pitch your ideas to. Okay. So your guys' mission here, I want to keep it, I want to kind of hold you guys to something, because, this is your mission. You want to just write something. It doesn't have to be a screenplay. It doesn't have to be, some novel. It's going to be a bestseller. It doesn't have to be those things, but just write something, whether it's, a small paragraph, or a poem, or your thoughts, or your emotions. Like, that's where I started. Before I went to bed, I would have all these thoughts that happen, or, emotions throughout the day, kind of replaying my day in my head, and all of these emotions and feelings would come up. And what I would do is I would just I wouldn't worry about spelling. I wouldn't worry about grammatics, whatever. Obviously, I'm great at speaking English. Like, there's things that for me, like, I just didn't worry about. I was just like, I don't even care. I don't care if it makes sense. All I'm going to do is I'm going to write. and I'm going to put my emotions down, and later I can come back and I can readdress that. And then if you guys need help or any ideas, or you kind of want some exercises to go through, feel free to send me an email. I would love to help anybody as much as I can. I feel like, in one of the books that I read, it's always kind of lifting up everybody else around you and kind of building this community of creativity where it's not, these sharks and lobsters who are, the second someone tries to climb out of the bucket, nope, everyone just grabs them and pull them down. We want to have a community here where if somebody starts getting out of the bucket and someone's successful, we want to support that person. We want to support that person and keep them going, keep them writing. Okay, we do not want to become lobsters. That's the last thing that I want to do. If somebody turns into a lobster, I will get rid of that person so fast. It's like a cancer. You just have to cut it out. So if you want to be a part of the community, like, it has to be kind of this warm, helping them. Obviously, you have to give someone criticism, so you have to be able to give criticism in this community. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of bring it back here. We're gonna kind of go back to what we talked about over this last little piece when it comes to let's see here. There we go. Okay, I'm back. When it comes to writing a screenplay, where do we start? Okay, so if I were you, and this is what I would suggest, is start writing just whatever. Like, if you just hear a song or you see a picture and you want to describe what that is, writing is going to get you wherever you want to go. If you're not writing and you're not able to express what's in your soul and what's in your head, if you're not able to kind of reach back past your resistance and dig, you got to dig deep. It's a place, and once you get in that place, you just start writing, and you finish and you kind of get back out. Where did that come from? I don't even know. And so that's something that we'll kind of go into next. So that's what I would challenge you to do. Whatever you do, just write something. And if you want to send it to me, I would love to read it. I would love to see what you guys do and what you guys kind of come up with all these ideas. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, let's see here. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen here. The screen share thing is quite the adventure. So I'm just going to share this really quick. I don't want to go full screen because I want to be able to see you guys. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's my next slide. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we go here and it's like this, I tell you, just write, and you're sitting there going, it's not that easy. Come on, Jared, writing is not that easy. And I would agree with you. Writing isn't easy, and we went over this in the beginning. This isn't made for people who are looking for easy. This is something that is going to be hard to do, and it's going to be something that's going to take from your soul. But it's something that once you give, you're gonna love it. So let's see here. Okay, so now I'm finally screen sharing to everybody. Hopefully I just didn't miss that slide. That would be embarrassing. Okay, no problem though. Okay, so we're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna introduce you guys to my friend. Okay, this is my enemy resistance. This is who it is. Okay, there's a wonderful book, an amazing book that I finished in a week and a half. And it was something that was for me was super, super awesome. I loved reading. I was suggested to be by my mother. Let's see. I'm just going to present this in a new window and see how that works. Kind of jig it around with this. Yeah, I'm just going to stop it. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna figure this out really quick, real fast. Here we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, this is better. This is so much better. So much better. Let's see if I make this window smaller, if it'll still share to you guys. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. I have nailed down. Professional right here. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Oh, for the love. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, so your enemy resistance. Okay, this is an enemy that is always there, will never go away, and you will always have him or she, whatever you want to call it. Your resistance can be, or right now, I just had a technical difficulty. My resistance, I've been afraid of doing this for the last week, sharing a presentation that I spelled. Well, I'm a horrible speller. I have ADHD. I have every attention deficit disorder under the sun. I have dyslexia, so when I spell, here's an example of one of the this is right off the thing. I wrote it just on my phone. So I mean, you're going to have resistance. Resistance is what tells you it's not good enough. You spelled brings wrong. You're going to mess up. People aren't going to like it. What are you doing? Why do you think that you're so good? Since when did you think that you were some big deal in any writing? Who's going to give a lick what you have to say? Now that's resistance. Now, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield really outlines it so well. He talks about some amazing points, and it gives you a perspective of, what type of person or what type of artist do I want to be? Because every single artist, no matter who they are, wakes up every single morning, no matter how professional they are, no matter how successful they are. Resistance is with them every single day. So for me, having read the book and been, everybody feels this way. I'm not the only person who has days where I'm like, holy crap, I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. Like what makes me think that I'm some big hot shot or whatever, or it just makes me think that I can write it even in just keeping stuff to myself. Like, why would I write that, Jared? Nobody's going to like it. So, I mean, everybody goes through those kind of moments. And so kind of having that for me was nice because I kind of realized like, okay, like if everybody feels that way, then, I can do it. And so I've kind of have these phrases in my head, that I'll kind of recite where it's like, an artist needs to, I think I posted that up on my page a couple of weeks ago, but an artist needs to be able to take a punch when he can. And I am not quoting this directly, that's for sure. Take a beating when he can and go for the throat when he can. I didn't word that right, but I think those are the things that you want to be. It just outlines that. If you can pick up War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, I feel like any artist, whether you're a photographer, painter, writer, or you're even a parent, I feel like if a parent wants to foster the creativity of their child, reading this will help them. And it's just knowledge. Knowledge is never going to hurt you. If someone suggests to you to read a screenwriting book or any book that helps you look through life from a different perspective, I would highly suggest to do that. I mean, I have lists of books that I need to read, and I wish to the Lords on high that I could just read for 5 hours straight in the day and I didn't have to go to my normal job. Everybody kind of goes through those things. Okay, so now that you know who my enemy resistance is, I'm gonna kind of walk you through what my good and bad list is. Things to stay away from and things to go towards. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story. When I was a kid, my parents taught me a respectful disrespect for authority. When somebody came in and said, you need to do this, I always question, why do we need to do it that way? Is there a better way that we can do this? And if you don't have a good enough answer for me, then why am I doing it? So obviously all of my teachers loved me. I mean, they obviously, like, I swear, if I was a teacher of me, I would have punched myself in the face. Like, I was such an annoying kid because I was always being the kid who's, they would say, hey, we need to do this homework. And I'd say, why? Oh, okay. Like, and I had some teachers who were amazing and they said, kid, this is the reason why you're going to learn this, and this. And I'd say, perfect. I can do that. That's not a big deal. I can tell that you put forth effort into this and it's awesome. Okay. So if you can tell, I got Facebook groups on the good and the bad list. Okay. Because what I've noticed is I have become a part of some screenwriting Facebooks, some creative Facebook groups, just groups in general. And these groups can sometimes be very detrimental to our creativity because there's people in there that are lobsters, man. They just like, the second that you throw something up there, they just tear you down so fast, which, obviously you need to go through, I like to look at it as more of a gauntlet where like, yeah, they'll kind of jab at you, but they won't stop you from making forward progress. You try to get out of a bucket in one of those Facebook groups and you post something up there, nobody has anything good to say. If somebody's going to spend the energy to say anything, they're going to say something that's bad. So Facebook groups, you need to find a group and a community. And that's kind of what my goal is here, is to build a community with all of you guys where people are encouraging. And that's the atmosphere, is we want to have a group of people that encourage each other with specific to screenwriting. When we want to pitch an idea, when we want to, now that we have this idea, what do we do? Go into production. Okay, what's the production? Where do we go do this? All of these steps and things that we can do. Okay. Next on the bad list is when I get. That phrase is said so much, even I say it sometimes, it kills me. I have a 5-year-old laptop. The internet at my apartment is horrible. I have crappy Nikon camera. Fortunately, I've gotten some sound equipment that's was given to me that was really awesome. So, plus on that side, blessing there. But everybody says, I'll write a screenplay when I get better at spelling, or for me, when I get better at, character development, or I'll write a screenplay when I have the best idea. When I get is the worst phrase. Don't ever use that. If you catch yourself using that, oh my gosh, your punishment better be to go write for 15 minutes. That's what your punishment should be. Okay. So just stay away from that phrase. The next thing on the good list is kind of the bullhead. If you are stubborn, if you are a fighter, is if when somebody says you can't do it, you say, watch me, that's you, good. Hold on to that for dear life. Because when resistance comes, resistance is not a very fun player. Like, he doesn't play by the rules. He will take you down. He will take you onto the field and he will beat the crap out of you. So if you're a bullhead and you say, someone punches you in the face and you say, fine, you hit like a girl, or whatever, that's the bullhead. And if the inner bullhead is in there, you feed that thing and you get it going, because that stubbornness will save you in the end. And because that will support your resilience on the next thing on the good list. If you're resilient, hold on to it, okay? Because resilience is going to, those moments where you write a screenplay and it just smashes. Everyone hates it. Everyone and their mother, even your mom, says it sucks. That resilience is going to be like, sweet, okay, none of you liked it, watch me. And I've had experiences where I've written stuff and I've even produced it and it's gone to the final point and it wasn't received as well as I thought it was going to be. That's just how it is. As an artist, there's times where people don't look at your art and they go, that's not as good as it was. And you're just kind of like, oh my gosh. And resistance comes in hardcore. Okay. Bad list. Another thing is victimization. If you're victimizing yourself as a writer, you are not going to go anywhere. Victimization in anything, no matter what it is, whether it's your job, your bills, you never make yourself the victim. Any screenwriter needs to be a cutthroat. When you get in a situation where you need something, or someone did something to you, or you're in a situation out of your control and you don't know what to do, you don't sit there and go, oh my gosh, my poor life. Like, my boss is demoting me or whatever. There's situations like that are actually, they open doors. So when you get in a situation like that, you bring your dukes up and you say, hit me, like, let's do this. I'm ready to go. And that's where the bullhead is. Okay. You stick to that bullhead hardcore. If you're different, if you're different, you're doing something right. Okay. If you're doing something that nobody else is doing and you're blazing your own trail and it's scary as hell, you keep doing that, because that's going to just take you to the next level. Okay. If you're a follower and you just do what everybody else is doing, whether it's everybody's doing horror films or everybody's doing, whatever, do something that's you. Don't be a follower. Be an innovator. Choose something that you do because you do it because you love it. Do something like that. Don't wait for somebody else to, hand you something. Go do something that you want to do. And if you're scared, you're doing something right. Okay. If you're scared, you're doing something right, because I'm scared every single day that I wake up. Every single day I sit down on my computer and I say, I'm going to write. I'm terrified. Okay. That's just how it is. Resistance wakes up with me at 9 o'clock. Well, I wake up at 6:30. Resistance wakes up right next to me, looks me in the face and says, what are you going to do today? And are you going to do anything worthwhile? Because you're nothing. And every single day I have to wake up and I have to look at resistance in the eye and say, you know what? Go back to bed, because I'm not dealing with it today. That's not going to happen. Okay. And he comes back all day long. He's always there. And it's me. Myself is my resistance. And so you need to learn, whether it's little small writings, poems, paragraphs, phrases, whatever it is, you have to start fighting back. Okay. Another thing is, and I've talked about this 100 times, is if you criticize others, you need to make sure that is positive criticism. If you're a lobster and you're just pulling people down in the bucket, nobody and their mother is going to want to associate with you. No one. So you can't be dealing with that. Like, if you're criticizing others and you think that you're better than somebody else, or you are more experienced than them or whatever, unfortunately, with the screenwriting and the movie industry, that's just how it is. Nobody really cares about you until they know what you've done, because they want your credentials, I guess. And that's happened to me before, where I'll talk to someone and they're like, oh, who are you? Whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm just a young filmmaker hanging out. And I play games with them half the time. Is I won't even mention that I was nominated or won in a film festival. I won't even mention those things. Like, I haven't mentioned it in the webinar. I don't do that because that's not my thing. And so when you are criticizing others, it can tear away from like your artistic ability, your resistance. If you're criticizing others, your resistance is winning. So if you're criticizing others, make sure that's positive criticism, and everything is, you're helping them. If anything, you're putting them through a gauntlet. You're gonna tag them real fast. You're gonna say, you know what, your one line or the dialogue here is really forced, or try something like this. I always try to, every suggestion, I try to give it a question. So when somebody's looking for something, I will be like, okay, well, so answer this question with your story. What in this scene right here, where is the hero or whoever character, where is this person starting and where is this person ending? Where is the plus or minus points on this scene right here? Tell me. And it's those are the best provocative questions that make them think, that make them kind of go through, oh, well, yeah, there is kind of just like a stagnant character. There's no character development in that scene, and it does nothing. They take that question and they're able to learn, and then they put it through their kind of artistic spectacles and can decide what needs to stay and what needs to go. Okay, so if you're going to criticize someone, be positive about it. Okay, so a lot of people ask me where I write. I write a lot of places. I'm starting to narrow it down though. I use my notepad in my iPhone all the time. I can scroll through that thing for days. Just like, half of the stuff is random and it makes no sense to me. But where do I write? I use Celtics.com. You can share with other people. It's free. You can put notes on it. It's online, so it's in the cloud, so you can access it from anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're on vacation with your parents or whatever. And if you want to get a subscription, you can. Me personally, I'll be honest, I haven't gotten a subscription yet because I'm still kind of testing it out. But so far, I really like it. They have like a $5 app for my iPhone that I can use, and so far, I like it for minor changes. If you're writing a scene, I wouldn't use my phone. But that's kind of what I do there. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back to us here today. Sweet. Well, so quick wrap up of kind of what we went over. First off, you need to make sure that if you're doing a screenplay, just write whatever it is, whether you get inspiration from music, songs, characters. You know what? Here's this in the last couple minutes, like the last couple of days, I got a screenplay. Gosh, I swear, the second that I do a webinar, my phone just blows up. Like everyone texting me. It's just like, no one loves me until I get in a webinar. Resistance, I guess. So, here's me proving my point. I'm not worried about someone stealing my idea. I'm not. It's just not how it is. So here's my kind of rough outliner that I did for that I'm doing for a screenplay right now that I'm working on. It goes, a young businessman falls in love with an exotic dancer who transforms his father's Venice flower shop into a thriving business by lacing the flowers with cocaine. There's my one-liner. It gives you the visual. Cost, it's gonna be expensive, obviously, because it's in Venice, and it's gonna be, I probably after reading it will add something. I kind of want it in the 1950s is where I'm envisioning it. But there's my one-liner. If you have suggestions or you want to say something about it, by all means, like send me an email, drop40studios@gmail.com. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If there's things or questions or, to me, when I came up with that one-liner, I was like, oh, that's something that I would watch. I would watch that. Like and then what I did is, and that came from a song too. I listened to like a old 50s song and I was like, oh man, this would be a really cool song in a movie. Like this would be way rad and classy. And then I just kind of went on like what could a story tell? Or I just went off and it just was like lightning bolts just like in my head, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on. So I started writing it down. So write stuff down. You may start writing, and then I started writing 4 or 5 months ago, and so now it's kind of here. But you have to be consistent. Consistency is going to be what's there. But I challenge you guys all to write something, no matter what it is. If you want to share it, by all means, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys are writing. If you guys are having troubles or creative blocks, I would love to help you guys out. I want to help as much as I can. That's what I want to do. If I'm answering emails all day long on writing, I'd do that way more than the job I'm doing now. Okay, if you guys send me emails all day long, I will do it. Oh, I promise, all day long. I love doing that because fostering your guys' creativity is one of my favorite things. I'd like to thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching. I'm planning to do these webinars every 2 weeks. If there's any subjects that you want to have covered or questions that you have, by all means, just let me know. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.